my sweet loves. My name is Sitara. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited about bringing this particular topic to our discussion, and we're going to be tapping into your soul frequency. So yesterday I talked about monad. Monad is the name that I chose to name my brand, my quantum school for intuitive entrepreneurs. Monad is the indivisible spark of divine consciousness that exists at the core of all living beings. So it's at the absolute core of your soul. Then, if you've ever studied the anatomy of a soul, what's there is that you have layers of divine consciousness, and eventually it goes into your soul frequency, where your signature frequency starts to begin that separates you from source consciousness. So yes, it is that we are all one. And yes, it is also true that we all are human beings living in our own bodies as fractals of source consciousness. So in that experience, right, in understanding what you are tuning into as a soul embodied in human form. And this is why I am an advocate stating that all human beings have psychic abilities. And of course, there are varying degrees of that, in the same way that there are varying degrees of understanding math. There's varying degrees of being an athlete. There's varying degrees of musical talent. It's the same for psychic abilities. That being said, most people are using their psychic abilities, but they just simply don't know what psychic abilities are. So we have claircognizance, divine knowing. This is the ability to know things without needing to have all of the understanding or why. You just simply know something. This is beyond a belief. It comes as a specific sensation, but it's also an ability of the crown chakra. So then we have your clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is your ability to see energy, to visualize, to imagine, to manifest, to see things in the fifth dimension. You're seeing things in energy. One of the biggest disruptions that we have had in understanding our imagination, as I'll put it in quotes, is the belief that our imagination isn't real. Well, when we are powerful divine co-creators and we're using our abilities to imagine, we also are aware that that imagination starts bringing powerful insights and powerful things into form. This is why your subconscious is manifesting your reality, because your subconscious is holding a particular frequency of either something that's happened in the past or something that's going to happen, or kind of fill in the blank with that. Your subconscious is manifesting your reality. This is why it'll lead you into things that you, let's say, don't want to have happen, perceived negative experiences. Well, those are there because your subconscious, or an internal wound that is in a blind spot that you're not quite aware of, is actually manifesting and attracting these experiences into your life. This is why you have to be careful with attraction. Attraction is an extremely potent and powerful part of our human existence. We know what we are attracted to. We know what we are called towards. We literally are magnetized towards something, or someone, or some experience, or something that we desire to do. That desire is coming from that internal place of reconciling this internal subconscious wound. So within that, we find that point of attraction. We find that point of magnetism. We find that point of like what we desire to call in. And ultimately, that is the subconscious that is attracting it. So when we do mantras, or we do consistent meditation, or we do consistent, internal work, we're actually reprogramming our subconscious. And so when we talk about psychic energy, we talk about what we're creating in the non-physical. And that's simply all it is. It's the non-physical. It's not that it's not real. We need to change our definition of reality and what is real. We are creating on the non-physical. And so worry, you see where I'm going with this? Worry is not a very powerful or positive use of your manifesting abilities. But when you're dwelling and you're worrying and you're going in mind cycles and mental loops, you are attracting, you're literally magnetizing and magnifying that particular frequency of what it is that you don't want. So this is why we speak only to what we want. We speak only to what we're desiring. We speak only to what it is that we are choosing to call in. This is not to say ignore the blind spot. This is to say that when you are focusing on what it is that you want, the blind spot gets less and less and less and less and less charge and less and less and less power. Because you are changing your energetic composition. You are changing your point of magnetism. You are changing the internal compass and what you are calling in. I call this getting ahead of the wave. So with that, now when we're talking about soul frequency, your particular signature frequency, your particular signature frequency is embedded into your DNA. So you have your parents' DNA, you have your mother's egg, your father's sperm. They come together. Biologically, that is what is in the physical. The non-physical component of it is your spirit, your soul that embodies into the physical form of the human form. And so when we're looking at that composition, your signature frequency, it's what separates you from your brothers and sisters. If you have any blood brothers or blood sisters, your signature frequency is your personality. It is your soul. It is the DNA. It is the memories that you come into this body in. And so when you're coming into this body, you have a particular genetic makeup biologically. You have a particular genetic makeup energetically on a frequency basis. This is why it's so important to pay attention to frequency and what it is that we are creating vibrationally. And this can be very subtle, and most people don't want to do the work because it is very detail oriented. You find the big picture, right? And then you deconstruct the things that are in the way. And deconstructing the things in the way means facing your stuff. It means facing your emotional turmoil. It means facing your emotional baggage. It means facing your emotional debris. It is more socially accepted in this culture, especially in American culture, and I'll speak to that because I know it well, that we are socially programmed, that we are accepted when we are numbing out, when we are drunk, when we are choosing not to face these things, that there's an underlying trauma bond in, oh, you don't want to feel your feelings? Oh, I don't want to feel my feelings either. Let's go have a good time and not feel our feelings and not grow and not evolve. That's the societal norm. But we are designed as human beings to grow, to evolve, to expand, to see what we're made of, and to honor our divine purpose and honor our divine calling, which is why our soul chose to take the body in the first place. And so in this human condition, there are so many distractions. So many distractions, and a lot of really potent and powerful influences that will distract people from actually leaning into their potential or leaning into their power. So when we see this for ourselves, and when we see what is it that we are choosing, are we choosing to feed the illumination of growth inside of us, which means facing the things, the patterns, the emotions, the behavior patterns, all these things that are keeping you where you're at? And for some people, that's what they want. That's what they're satisfied with. That's where they want to be. That's not what resonates for me. So I choose to continue to feed the part of me that wants to see what I'm capable of, that wants to see what my potential is, that wants to have the experience of laying on my deathbed, looking back and saying, I gave it my all. I gave it my everything. I tried and I put my efforts into the things that brought me joy. And I really was able to exude this divine, loving presence and open my heart beyond fear and open my heart beyond insecurities and open my heart beyond limitations. And the reason that I'm speaking about your heart is because your heart is where your soul is embedded. The core of your soul, the apex of your soul is embedded into your heart, which is why it is so important to open your heart. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to open your heart in romantic relationship or force it open if something just isn't flowing naturally for you. This is about addressing the limitations that are going on within your heart so that you can be open to activating and remembering your soul memories. Your soul memories are not inside of your mind. Your soul memories are at the core of your heart. And so the soul memories that are at the core of your heart are open when you forgive, when you release, when you replenish, when you realize the weight that you are carrying from past experiences is a weight that is devaluing your own illumination, that it has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with your relationship between you, and what is it that you are choosing to carry? And what is it that you can choose to transmute? And what is it that you can choose to forgive? And what is it that you can choose to let go so that you are no longer tied to these experiences and that you are no longer carrying the weight of that pain? So opening your heart and facing your emotions and facing your limitations and facing this inner turmoil is something that you can give yourself the opportunity to do very gracefully, very presently. It hurts. You have to feel your feelings. You have to feel the pain that you have been avoiding. And I can tell you that once you feel it, and you feel it to its core, it releases. It's gone. It moves through you. You are a conduit. And so if your energetic channels are plugged, it makes it very hard to let go of things. So when you are open and your heart is open and your energy is flowing and it's fluid and it's moving and it's vibrant, you might find yourself, having some less than desired experiences, but you can move through them more quickly. You become more agile with your decisions. You become more agile in your communication. You become more effervescent in what it is that you are presenting to the world through your own heart. And in that way, the world meets you through that effervescence, through that liberation, through that kindness, through that divine nurturing energy. And so the activation and the healing of your heart is in my opinion, is one of the greatest things that you can give to yourself, one of the greatest gifts that you can honor yourself. You can choose to expand from the core of your present awareness in a way that dissolves all barriers that you are carrying and that you are committed to. Releasing the emotional attachment to the commitment of these patterns is what will set you free in ways that you could never imagine from the vantage point that you are sitting in behind your barriers and walls. This is what allows you to feel your signature frequency. This is what allows you to tune in and tap in to your signature frequency and awareness. It is a powerful experience. It is a powerful presence. It is like illumination at its finest to be able to experience yourself in divine presence and form. Beautiful. And so if you would like to go deeper with this, right, I've got all sorts of courses, all sorts of classes, I've been doing this for a long time. But my suggestion is to connect in with the intuitive entrepreneur. This is a program that includes Release and Rise, Embody Your Higher Self, and also Grow Your Soul-Centered Business. So the Intuitive Entrepreneur is actually an entry program. It's an entry bundle that gets you ready for Rise. Rise is a full year certification program of psychic development and intuitive entrepreneurship. So if that's something that's calling to you, go ahead and plant that seed. There will be a link in the description below. You can tune into it at any point, anytime. Go ahead and check it out. And with that, my sweet friend, I want to thank you and honor you for your time. Thank you for being here with me today. I really appreciate your presence. Please, of course, like this video, put a comment in the comment section. And if you could, what I would ask for you in the comments is to send a prayer for all those who will be scrolling through the comment feed, so that it becomes a prayer circle for what it is that we desire for our brothers and sisters that also find their way to this page. And of course, subscribe. Easiest, simplest way to support this movement, my dreams, my desires, what I believe I am here to create, and your presence is so wildly appreciated. So from the center of my own heart to yours, thank you. I appreciate you. I honor you as a divine being in human form. And as we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is complete. Ciao, ciao. See you next week.